I know. I know. I'm here. I'm here. I know. I know. Let's all slow down. I know. It's been a minute. I'm not wearing a watch. I feel like I have some explaining to. I feel like I'm in trouble with my parents and I have to like explain where I've been. So you guys, honestly, it's not really even that long of a story. Genuinely, by the time I uploaded the last video, life just started getting a little crazy. And so I honestly I have another video that I filmed of me reading like really hyped up books that I was excited to read. Like it was a video of me doing popular new releases. And honestly, I was slacking on the filming. I still have the video if you guys want to see it. It's probably just not the most well produced video you'll ever see. But I read really popular books such as Sunrise on the Reaping, Conditions of Will. I believe I read Wild Eyes in that as well. I was reading a lot of popular books. And I just fell off. I wasn't as persistent as I needed to be. I'm going to be honest. And then following that failed video that I have just kind of like sitting collecting dust on my computer, I hit a little bit of a reading slump. I think I read like 2 books in 1 month, which is really unlike me. Usually I'm sitting at like the 6 to 7 range. And then life got insane and then summer started. And every time I wanted to pick up the camera, I just feel like life was taking me elsewhere. And so now we're here. It is literally the middle of August. I am so sorry. I love filming videos. I love editing. I love reading. And I definitely have not stopped reading. So we got out of the slump really quickly. And I've read quite a bit. I'm on book number 44 of this year so far. So that's pretty exciting. I love this channel. I just need to honestly do a better job at dedicating more time to it. And part of that is she got a mic. See, because the audio was really bothering me on my camera. Love this camera, but it isn't the most new or up to date. And so I told myself if I order this mic the second it arrives, pick up the camera. It arrived at 11 a.m. It is 11:15. I also was stalking my Amazon driver. I'm sorry. Thank you so much. You did your big one with this. After not uploading for a while, I really was kind of debating what the best plan of action would be coming back, like what video is the best to film. And I kind of landed on doing like a mid-year check-in in a way. Like I said, I've read 44 books this year, but I thought this was kind of the best way to jump back into uploading. And we're kind of a little bit past the middle of the year. And so I thought, what better way than to kind of do the check-in and give you guys my 5-star reads and then my lowest rated reads so far this year. Now, I am a picky rater. I love giving a 3 a 4. 4 I'm a little bit iffy with nowadays, but like 3 is like I love giving that. But 3 is not the worst rating to me. Like I know some people will think 3 is bad, but for me 3 is really good. But I hold 4 and 5 to a higher standard, especially 5. And so a lot of my books tend to linger around the 3. But my lower rated, I would consider my 2-star and below, or even 3 on a lower scale. Like if it was just 3 or 3.25. Oh, Ziggy's coming in to say hi. Did you miss everybody? I think he said, yeah. He also thinks this is like a toy for him. Hi, Bubba's. I know you're not used to me filming anymore, huh? It's been a minute. He's really needy, so he's just gonna sit right here. Hi. So that's what we're gonna do today. I don't even know the train of thought I was on. It's fine. We're just gonna move on. I'm gonna give you guys my highest rated reads first, and then we'll get into my lowest reads. Does that sound good? Yeah, okay, he's okay with that. Except you're not gonna like this. I do have to put your paw down because I do have to pick up my first 5-star read. Yeah, sorry. He doesn't give a flying rat's booty what I do as long as I'm giving him love. Oh, tell us how you really feel. Anyway, we're going on to our first 5-star read. He's going to pop in and out, so just don't mind him. The first 5-star read of 2025, drum roll please. Onyx Storm. Onyx Storm by Rebecca Yarros. I Wow. I am kind of glad that this was my first 5-star read of the year. It felt so good. This book actually, fun fact, came out on my birthday, which was so very special. I did this intentionally, but I did not pre-order the book because I wanted that to be like my little birthday treat to myself. I ride Soul Cycle religiously, and a big deal is like kind of doing a Soul Cycle ride on your birthday. So I went, I did my 7 a.m. birthday ride. That was so fun. I felt so celebrated and loved. Shout out to my instructor. She's never going to watch this video. I love you, girl. But after my ride is exactly when Target opens, and I just wanted to go get it. I was not trying to get the exclusive. It would be a bonus if they had it, but I knew the girlies were camping out, and I don't blame you. Honestly, go get your bag. So I was just going in to get a copy, period. I didn't care what it was. So I did just get the normal, quote unquote, Target exclusive. I know there was like the deluxe and the exclusive. Girl, I don't know. Anyway, I just got this one, whatever this one is. Yeah, I got this one. I honestly think it's kind of better than the other one. I didn't say that. But anyway, as you can tell by the tabs, this was a 5-star read. I have a lot of thoughts, and there's a lot of books in here that I really want to be careful not to give spoilers to. So I'm not going to. This whole video is spoiler free, but spoiler free thoughts are hard to give when all I want to do is like shake people and talk to them about my experience with this book. Overall, I think Onyx Storm did what Iron Flame wanted to do. I'm sorry to my Iron Flame loving girls. I respect you so much. I really do. And everyone is entitled to their own opinions. I respect yours. So please respect mine. I hated Iron Flame. Hate is a strong word. I disliked strongly Iron Flame. I think it was nonsense for being that long. I think it was a filler. The time in which Rebecca put out Iron Flame, I think she was trying to ride a high almost of like, oh, everyone's picking up Fourth Wing. I got to get moving on this book, and just pushed it out. Whereas I feel like with Onyx Storm, she genuinely took her time. And I loved that. I felt like so much heart and soul was put into Onyx Storm. I didn't feel the same with Iron Flame. The whole book just felt like stupid relationship bickering back and forth. Like we get it. Like you guys love one another. Just like grow up. Like it was just like a lot of nothing. And then like the last maybe 150 pages, it was like, oh, here's the actual book. Got it. So it could have just been like a shorter, I don't know if you would consider that a novella, but like a shorter, like 150, maybe even 200 page book. It didn't need to be that long, girl. Like we could pack it up. Pack it up. And I loved Fourth Wing. Do I think a lot of books are crazily hyped to a point where it's like it pushes me away? Yeah. And you'll hear about that later with some other of my 5-star reads. However, I feel like Fourth Wing was really good. I'm pretty sure I rated that 5 stars, if not like 4.5. Loved it. Sensational. Then Iron Flame fell flat. Sorry. Then Onyx Storm literally was like a baby of both of them. It was the perfect mix of what we get in Fourth Wing and what we got in Iron Flame. There was poetic lyrical writing. We got a lot of like the mundane, which I kind of like now that we have the world building. Iron Flame was world building on stuff we didn't need to hear about anyway. Like we got it. We were locked in already. Now, Onyx Storm, I feel like the part that I loved the most was we were almost getting a sense of Fourth Wing back, which was the like academia trials with like, I don't know, the training part. I loved that in Fourth Wing. And I feel like we just kind of got like a little bit of that back in Onyx Storm, on top of the action and the really big plot moments that we got at the end of Iron Flame, as well as what we also got in Fourth Wing. I was taken on an emotional roller coaster for sure. Cried a lot. And Darna stabbed me in the heart. I'll leave it at that. I don't want to spoil too much on characters, but let's just say Andarna took me on a ride. Okay. There was a lot of like, oh, wait, no, they're not. Oh, wait, just kidding. Like, heart couldn't take it half the time. I was too gullible for my own good, honestly, with reading the book. Cause I was like, okay, that's it. And then the next page, like, oh, just kidding. Speaking of that, why the book end there? You know, got to the end. I was like, okay, yeah, but also like, why? Genuinely, why? So yeah, so just like mixed feelings on that. I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. I can't wait for the next one. I'm so glad she's waiting. I know everyone's like in an uproar about the release of the next book, but guys, I fear she needs it. Because look what happened with Iron Flame. Yeah, you wanted it that quickly. That's what you got. Again, no tea, no shade. Respect to any Iron Flame girlies. I honestly think that when I reread it, I'll appreciate it. But I think with so much anticipation and build to Iron Flame after Fourth Wing, that's kind of why it fell flat for me. But I have heard that upon rereads, you appreciate Iron Flame a little bit more. So I'll keep you guys posted if I do end up reading it. I'm sure I eventually will. But Onyx Storm, 10 out of 10, no notes. Rebecca, you did your big one with this. You did your big one. And I will patiently be waiting as much time as you need for a year or two until the next one comes out. Truthfully, like take your time, let her cook, you guys. Don't barge her too much because I think she does well with time. We need to let it simmer. Moving on to the next 5-star read, another fantasy. I don't know, guys. I'm just a fantasy girl. I've always been, but like 2 big hyped up fantasies back to back. It was a good start to the year. Let me tell you that. I'm pretty sure I read this one in February, if not early March, but that is Spark of the Everflame by Penn Cole. I don't want to talk your guys' ear off too much because I did talk about this book quite a bit, kind of at the start of being back on YouTube, I believe. Loved it. This was such a good, surprising read. Honestly, our main character, DM, can be insufferable at times. Yes. But her character growth in this book, if you guys like character development and like a good arc, you will love DM. It's romantasy at its finest. At its finest. First person POV. Again, we're following DM, who is in the human world, which is like the poor, rundown side of things. Then she works in the demigod side of town, which is like the rich, lavish town. As we get our bearings kind of with the settings and overall story that we're getting, we see that the human side of town is breaking out into a rebellion. And that's really what kicks off our story, is kind of the start of that rebellion. So the whole story is very demigods versus mortals, which is so interesting. And I feel like we got the perfect amount of descriptive writing, which kind of like sets the scene in your brain. I love visual. And so the lyrical descriptive writing really helps me to feel like I'm kind of immersed into the story, but I don't feel like it was too much. Again, like look how short this book is. For a fantasy, a romantasy, that is kind of a good pace. It's very fast. I believe I binged this in a day or two because it was that good. I just could not put it down. Like genuinely. There's a found family trope, which I love. And the politics and magic system in this are chef's kiss. Again, no notes. I love politics in a book. But again, it's the length of it. It's not too much. It's not overdone. It's not exhausted. And it's the perfect balance of just everything. I cannot wait to read the next book. It is a 4-book series, and I believe 3 of the 4 are out. So I need to get on it. Next book I will be reviewing, I forget which one was first. I definitely just mixed these up. If I read them in a different order, sue me. They were around the same time. Okay. Doesn't matter. Next book that I rated 5 stars of 2025. And I cannot believe I'm saying that I first read this in 2025. I know. It's embarrassing. 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I love Taylor Jenkins Reid. I know there's discourse about her, as there is with Emily Henry. I feel like they have the same girlies on both sides kind of arguing. I love her. I love a literary fiction with a lot of layers. And I feel like Taylor Jenkins Reid is really character driven in her novels, which I love. I love character development. I love focusing on characters and seeing kind of their response to what's going on around them. So I think she did this book really well. Originally, I was turned off to reading this for so long just because I just feel like when there's a lot of hype on a book, it literally like I run out the door. I'm like afraid. It's like I'm scared of commitment with overhyped books. I'm like, okay, I get it, but like I'm going to see myself out. I think it's just when I hear so many people from the woodworks just coming out screaming about a book, I'm like, okay, I get it. But like, I'm just going to step back if you don't mind. Sorry. And that's not to say that I won't love the book. Like sometimes it's rightfully hyped up. And I'm a hard critic when it comes to that stuff. I don't know. Call me an Aquarius. Okay. But it was too much for me. So I didn't read this right away. And I was like, I'm going to let this simmer a little bit. Finally read it. Cannot believe it took me that long to read it because I loved it. I loved it so much. I feel like the storyline was just so creative. And there's something about a creative storyline that tops any like Western romance that's like the same storyline, and then there's a third act breakup. It's like the song and dance that keeps being rehearsed over and over again with these books. Anything that has like a creative storyline to it, I will eat up. And I think this was done so beautifully well. I really like the way Taylor Jenkins Reid introduced both characters. I like the way we were told about Evelyn Hugo. Sorry if things look a little different. My camera died. I needed to wait for the battery to charge. That's all I have to say. I'm sorry about it. I really don't know the tangent I was on. Anyway, we're just gonna hop right into the character part. So the story follows Evelyn Hugo, who was like an old Hollywood actress, grew up in the 50s, I believe. And there's a author, Monique, who is basically writing Evelyn's memoir. And so we kind of go back and forth with present day of Monique, hearing from Evelyn, getting to know her, you know, going through her whole process of how she feels about Evelyn as a person. And then we kind of time jump back to kind of like being immersed into the story that Evelyn is telling Monique. And I just think it was executed really well. So I loved it. I don't think it was overhyped at all. I definitely just think like there's just a lot of noise on stuff nowadays with social media. And so maybe that just kind of is me projecting from my feelings on social media and just how opinionated everyone can be. And so maybe that's where this came in. But overall, I really loved it. I loved it. I will always give Taylor Jenkins Reid her flowers. Loved. No notes. Next book. I was looking forward to this book so much. And that is Sunrise on the Reaping by Suzanne Collins. Yeah, to finally get Haymitch's POV is something I didn't know I needed as much as I did. Like, obviously everyone's like, oh my God, Haymitch, oh my God, Haymitch. Like, I didn't realize the dots that would connect from getting his POV. I just wanted it because I loved Haymitch. I didn't realize though after, I mean, it might be because Suzanne Collins is just a wizard, truly, at what she does. But I just didn't realize all of the ways it would make me reflect back on Hunger Games. Like, I just thought it was going to be its own thing, kind of similar to Snow, just getting more of that character development, understanding a little bit more of like their layers to them. No, but truthfully, Haymitch's POV had me rethinking everything. It was so devastating. It was really like, I would consider this a tragedy, honestly, simply because I feel like as opposed to the other books in this series, this is the first one, at least, where I felt like I was watching it knowing how it would turn out. Like, all of the characters, there's like no hope. Like, I think that's where the tragedy feeling comes in, is like the lack of hope that there is because you know the turnout, like you know the outcome. And so you're getting fixated and learning to love all of these characters, and just knowing that it's just not going to turn out in their favor is just so heartbreaking to witness and to read. I feel like it was paced beautifully. I loved the size of this book. I always feel like my middle school self when I get back into the series. And I mean that in the best way. I don't feel like anything is juvenile about these books. I honestly never did. Even when I read them in middle school, I've reread them since, and I feel like they do still stand the time. Are they easy to read? Yeah. Are they uncomplicated? Yeah, absolutely. They do stand the time as like I would still rate them just as highly if I read them now. But there is something nostalgic for my middle school self as I read every single book that comes out. One last thing, without giving, spoilers, even though I feel like TikTok has literally spoiled everything already. When you realize the title of the book, if you know, you know, Sunrise on the Reaping. Like, I just, like, didn't really think about the importance of that. Like, I just kind of thought it is what it is. Like, it felt very, like, kind of, like, plain and simple. Like, yeah, Sunrise on the Reaping. Like, get it? No. I feel like when you know, but it just makes it that much more devastating when you finish the book to read the title of it. You're just like, oh, yeah, right. That was Sunrise on the Reaping. I wish I could reread this for the first time, as I do with any of the books in the series, but truly I can't wait for the movie. I love you, Suzanne Collins. I really do. You can do no wrong in my eyes with these books, truthfully. And our last 5-star read, honestly, it's been a minute since I've had a 5-star read because I'm pretty sure I read this May. I think it was May. This was right before the slump gate, if you will. I read Conditions of Will in May. Yeah, I knew that or whatever. Welcome back, soldier. Do you have anything to say? Okay, he's playing hard to get because I'm not giving him attention, probably. Conditions of Will. Jessa Hastings. The woman that you are. I love anything Jessa Hastings produces. I'm going to say it. Magnolia Parks is probably my favorite series I've ever read. That's a weighted statement, and I'm standing on it. I love Magnolia Parks. And so whenever she releases anything else past that, I'm like, yeah, I'm reading it, and I'm probably going to like it. Let's just give it a moment for this cover. Okay? I'm just going to let you actually take a look at that. Yeah. Oh, wait, I'm not done. Yeah. I believe it's Jessa's best friend, like a childhood best friend. Editing Lana, correct me if I'm wrong. Pretty sure Jessa's best friend is the one that does all of her cover art. And the second there's indie covers that come out, I'm like gonna get on it because Magnolia Parks went quick. By the time I got my hands on the series and went into it, they were already like wiping the indie covers from the shelves and bringing up the new ones that I don't really like. Sorry. I just feel like the new covers to Magnolia Parks do not do it justice. Like, if I saw those covers, I wouldn't have picked it up. But if I saw the indie covers, yeah, that's what led me to pick it up. I said, well, this looks absolutely stunning. So yeah, so the beautiful, beautiful Conditions of Will. I loved every second of this book. It destroyed me. I wish I could reread it for the first time. I wish I could hold past Lana's hand as she read this book. This story follows Georgia and Sam Penny. Georgia's our FMC and Sam Penny's our MMC. Usually, I hate insta-love. That is like my least favorite trope. That's actually part of the reason I didn't like one of my lowest rated books, which I'll get to in a little bit. But I feel like this was done right. I feel like there's a right way and a wrong way to do insta-love, and I feel like this was the right way. I loved every ounce of the way that they carried these characters through from the point of like the insta-lovey that I felt like we got in the beginning. I will say, Matilda girls, if you know, you know. Harry Styles, anybody? This book, yes, Matilda. I feel like there are trigger warnings in this book. There's a few, but I feel like they're written with tender care. Like, I feel like they're done in a really appropriate way. And I feel like more people would maybe read through trigger warnings if they are done a proper and delicate way. And I just feel like a lot of the time why there's trigger warnings on books is they're kind of thrown in your face in a traumatic way. And I feel like Jessa did it in a really good way. But say that all to say there are trigger warnings to look into. But yeah, overall, loved our FMC, Georgia. I feel like I relate to her in a lot of ways. She's very upfront, blunt, no BS. I love that. Like, there's no question about how she feels. Like, she's very sure of herself. And honestly, I kind of loved that because sometimes that type of character is insufferable in books. Like, I feel like the way that they're portrayed is really insufferable. But I feel like the way that Jessa portrayed Georgia in the way that she's no BS is like iconic. Like, I want to be Georgia. You know what I mean? So again, sensational. Love the way this was done. I recommend anything Jessa Hastings writes. And that is it for my 5-star reads. You guys, I'm kind of shocked I have not had a 5-star read since May. I will say I've liked a lot of the reads that I've had this year, and there are some that have come very close, like 4.5, 4.75. Under the Whispering Door is one. Out on a Limb is another book that I really, really loved. They just didn't quite give me the 5-star feeling. But nonetheless, still absolutely loved those books. And I will say, I'm about to show you my lowest rated books of the year, and there's not many. There's not. And if there are, I kind of went into the book knowing they wouldn't be the highest rated books, but I just kind of needed like a filler, a quick little read, low commitment, if that makes sense. I feel like I've just over the years gotten really good at picking up books that I know I'm going to enjoy. I don't like wasting my time on books where I'm completely not sure, unless it's like I'm going in with zero expectations. If I feel like I'm going to get slumped in a book, why am I going to put myself through that, you know? And I don't like DNFing books. That's like a chronic thing about me is I do not DNF. I will see the book through and hate every second of it. But yeah, so that being said, I don't have many low-rated books because I feel like I'm doing really well at picking out books that I know I'll enjoy. And I feel like that's done really well to keep me out of the slump for the most part. So going on to my first couple of low-rated books for this year, I feel like it's kind of like, I don't really have to say much about it. It's pretty, you know, you'll understand the second you see it. You're going to be like, oh yeah, duh. In a way, like, girl, why did you do that in the first place? And to that I say, I don't know. Hey, I don't know. No shade to these authors. I just novellas are set up to fail, honestly. If you do good with a novella, props. But the first one was Merry Ever After by Tessa Bailey. Now, I've read a Tessa Bailey book. I feel like I read Tessa Bailey before, no? I know you're all screaming at the screen right now because I'm not realizing what, oh, yeah, it happened one summer, and I liked that book. I'm pretty sure. I remember enjoying that book. It's been a minute since I've read that. Yeah, I just wanted a cheesy, easy read, okay? We were, like, coming out of the end of the year. I just wanted to, like, pound through some Kindle books. I was traveling a lot. I wanted low commitment, okay? And so that's what I got. So I paid for it. I paid the consequences, and I think I rated it 2 stars, if not lower. Sorry. It's so hard with novellas to get connected to characters, to have any sort of plot development. Usually it's just like a spicy, meet cute, insta-lovey, nothing. That being said, an author I have a tough relationship with, I will say, is Cruel Winter with You by Ali Hazelwood. Ali Hazelwood wrote one of my favorite books of, I think it was 2021, 2022, I forget. And that's The Love Hypothesis. Now, I've loved a couple more of her books after that. Love Hypothesis, I read and loved. Love Theoretically was okay. I liked that. Bride, I have some trauma with, but I liked it, question mark. But then I just feel like as we move on, like with Deep End, I have troubled thoughts with Ali Hazelwood's writing. And the smut. I don't know, you guys. I have such mixed reviews on Ali Hazelwood, but Cruel Winter with You was just like another, same as Merry Ever After. I was like, okay, but I put myself in that position. Like, it was a novella, a silly little novella series that, you know, all of the, like the Amazon stories that the authors came out with. And so I was like, why not? It didn't take any time, so I don't regret it, but I should have known going into it that I wouldn't love. Next on my lower rated reads is Queer by William S. Burroughs, I believe is how you say it. I'm tortured because I'm pretty sure I rated this like 3 stars. It was a good book. Like, there was a lot of dark humor and like an unsettling feeling, but I just don't know that it was fully for me. I don't know that it was fully for me. It was originally neglected work that was almost like resurrected in a way. Like, it became legendary after the fact, but it was neglected when it first came out, I believe. It was written originally in 1952, but it was not published until the 80s. It's an autobiographical self-portrait, and it's basically a political novel. I really was interested to read this, especially in the month of June, Pride Month, as we know. But I just feel like it didn't give me exactly what I wanted to read. It was on the shorter end also, so I don't know if that played into a role. It is a major motion picture now, so I might watch it and maybe that'll give me a newfound appreciation for it. I don't know, it didn't hit the way I wanted it to. And there's a lot of mixed reviews online about it. I'm not sure. But overall, again, no regrets that I read it. It just lacked a lot. It just lacked a lot for me. And I think I just maybe had a higher expectation. So maybe that's partially my fault. And then the lowest rated book, this was out of order because Queer I read in June. And then this book, I believe I read in April. I read this in March. But that's Not Another Love Song. I rated this over 3 stars, if not just 3 stars. And it wasn't terrible. I look back at this book and I remember the parts I liked. But overall, it was a little too insta-lovey, and the way that the characters talk to one another, I don't know. I am all for an enemies to lovers. I really am. But I've noticed that in terms of enemies to lovers, I really love when it's done with fantasy, higher stakes, maybe, like a little bit more of the drama. But I feel like in real life, or just kind of like an everyday setting, enemies to lovers can kind of be toxic. No? Do we agree? Maybe not. Maybe I'm not the popular opinion on this, but I just feel like it was just like kind of weird. I was like, oh, right. And then once they were together, it was just like that was all we cared about. Like, I loved the plot of this story, you know, with the music and the stakes with that. And I feel like we were getting so much of it, learning about Gwen as an artist and a musician. And I feel like the whole storyline was lovely. And then once Gwen and Xander, our FMC and our MMC, get together, it's like, that's all the book's about. Is they're just like making love, in love with one another, and then we're not even paying attention to the storyline. Like, the storyline is just like it takes a back seat. And I don't like that. I love the plot at the front seat, and I love a lingering romance in the back. I loved the plot of this. And then the second the romance came in, I was like, I'm kind of checked out now. Again, maybe that's just, you know, the type of person I am. I have heard a lot of people love this book. So yeah, it just wasn't for me in the end. Again, parts I loved to it and parts I didn't love. I've talked about this book in excess on my channel, and so I don't want to keep like kind of beating a dead horse, if you will, for lack of better phrases. It's just like we've done the song and dance. You guys know how I feel about this book. Wasn't my favorite, wasn't the worst, but definitely one of my lower rated of the year so far. Well, you guys, we have hit that point of the video. That is it for my highest rated reads and my lowest rated thus far. I am praying to the gods I have another 5-star read. I think I might with some of the really good books I have on my TBR for fall. So fingers crossed I'm able to get some of those out of the way and maybe get a 5-star in there, 2 or 3 or 4. I would love that. Hopefully not too many lower rated reads for the rest of the year. That would be sad and unfortunate. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I apologize again for my little leave of absence that was unplanned. Sorry. Promise I'm serious about being back. I'm gonna upload as much as I possibly can, but stay tuned because I really do want to do a fall TBR video. So let me know if you guys want to see that. Let me know if there's any other videos you guys want to see from me in the comments down below. Again, like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. Please, it will help my channel out greatly. I promise I'm here for good, so just cozy on up, watch my other videos if you haven't seen them already. I guess that's where I leave you. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!